Chosen one, take a slow breath and let the significance of this moment settle into your bones. Something monumental is unfolding right now, an invisible current rippling through your life, through your spirit, in ways you might only partially recognize. You feel it in the subtle restlessness of your heart, in the spontaneous rushes of emotion that seem to come out of nowhere, and in those rare but unmistakable moments where everything around you seems to pause. This is the biggest spiritual shift of your life, and it's not waiting for you to be ready or prepared. It's arriving, unstoppable and determined, like a dawn that can no longer be held back by the night. There's a part of you that wants to cling to old routines for comfort, but there's another, more profound part that has been yearning for something new, something expansive, transformative, and uncontainable. Let that part of you lead the way now. Trust that the universe has not sent this shift to destroy you, but to awaken you, to break open the shell that once felt safe but now feels impossibly small. Before we dive deeper, do me a favor. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment with the number 777. That number isn't some random code. It's a symbolic invitation to align yourself with the reality that is revealing itself. By commenting 777, you're sending a clear message to the universe that you are ready, truly ready, to embrace this profound turning point. If your spirit resonates with these words, you'll find your heart beating a little faster at the sheer possibility of what's being offered. If not, you may be tempted to click away. And that's fine, because not everyone is at a place where they can receive these truths. But if you're still here, then you know deep down that it's your time. There's an energy in the air that's unlike anything you've felt before. Maybe it crept in quietly, an undercurrent of change that only recently started to amplify into a roar. Or maybe it arrived all at once, upending your sense of normalcy in the blink of an eye, leaving you dizzy and unsure of where to turn. Whether gentle or overwhelming, that energy is calling for your attention. It wants you to see beyond the veils you've grown accustomed to, veils of routine, ego, and fear. This shift isn't just happening around you. It's happening within you. It's the unveiling of a new chapter in your soul's evolution, a chance to break free from cycles of doubt or stagnation that you once accepted as the boundaries of your reality. It's a recalibration of your inner compass, nudging you to walk a path far more aligned with the truth of who you are. If you pause for a moment, you'll notice that old patterns, old beliefs, and old ways of relating to the world no longer fit as comfortably. You might find yourself impatient with conversations that once entertained you, or uneasy in settings that used to feel normal. You might catch yourself daydreaming about radical changes, moving to a different city, starting a new career, or diving into spiritual studies that defy mainstream logic. These impulses aren't whimsical cravings for novelty. They are the signals of your soul guiding you toward the next stage of your unfolding. The universe is uprooting what's stagnant and outdated so that the fresh seeds of your future can take root. Of course, there can be discomfort in this process. Letting go of familiar anchors, even toxic ones, can feel disorienting. But trust that any sense of chaos is actually the universe clearing the ground for something infinitely more fulfilling. In the midst of this enormous shift, your intuition may be on overdrive. Perhaps you sense things about people before they say a word, or your dreams have become more vivid, filled with images that linger long after you wake. You might notice that synchronicities are piling up at an uncanny rate. Numbers repeating themselves, chance meetings, meaningful coincidences. These aren't just random quirks. They are breadcrumbs scattered by the cosmos, hinting that you're on a path woven with deeper magic than ordinary logic can explain. You might even feel an unspoken conversation going on between you and a higher force, as though the universe is whispering encouragement right into your heart. If you let yourself tune in, you'll realize this is not new. It's been going on all along. The difference is that now you're aware enough to notice. This spiritual shift will likely bring you face to face with your shadow, those hidden aspects of yourself that you might have buried or ignored out of shame, guilt, or fear. Old traumas, regrets, or unresolved conflicts may resurface, demanding to be acknowledged and healed. It's not a punishment. It's an invitation. When the universe pours more light into your being, it inevitably illuminates corners that were once dark. You may experience sudden waves of emotion, outbursts, or tearful releases that puzzle your rational mind. Instead of labeling yourself as oversensitive or unstable, recognize these moments for what they are: opportunities to purge what no longer serves you and to integrate the lessons your shadow can teach. If you avoid this confrontation, you postpone the profound expansion waiting on the other side. By facing the darkness, you reclaim parts of yourself that hold tremendous power and wisdom. You can't ascend to a higher frequency if parts of you remain stuck in old wounds. Embrace the moment of revelation, for in that vulnerability your transformation accelerates. Along this journey, you may also notice that certain relationships shift or even fade out of your life. People who resonated with an older version of you might not fit so well now. You'll sense emotional or energetic walls forming where once there was kinship. Let that be okay. Your evolution is calling in new alliances, soul connections that match the frequency you're stepping into. Resist the urge to cling out of nostalgia or fear of loneliness. The universe abhors a vacuum, and as you let go of connections no longer aligned with your path, new, more harmonious connections will naturally emerge. Yes, it can feel painful to watch old bonds dissolve, but remember that every ending is the seed of a new beginning. The universe is orchestrating a support network for the version of you that is being birthed through this enormous shift. With all these changes, you might feel compelled to embark on a quest for deeper truth. Reading spiritual texts, immersing yourself in teachings that challenge your old paradigms, or experimenting with forms of meditation or energy work you once considered odd. This thirst for knowledge, this craving for direct experience of the divine, is another hallmark of the shift. Perhaps you find yourself inexplicably drawn to certain symbols or deities, or you feel an urge to visit sacred places that you never cared about before. Honor these callings. They reflect the universe guiding you to the tools, traditions, or practices that can help you anchor and navigate your spiritual transformation. Don't worry if it doesn't make sense to others or even to your rational mind. You are being guided by a force that transcends conventional logic. As you follow these nudges, you'll discover pockets of wisdom that resonate so deeply you'll wonder how you ever lived without them. One of the surest signs that this shift is real and not just a fleeting whim is the consistent sense of purpose germinating within you. Maybe you've spent years drifting, uncertain of your mission or of what direction to take. Now, pieces of the puzzle begin to assemble themselves in the background of your awareness. You sense that your gifts, those abilities or passions you might have disregarded, are integral to what you're meant to contribute to the world. The universe doesn't light a fire in your soul without reason. That fire is there to guide you, to burn away your fears, and to make you the beacon you were always destined to become. You might not see the entire picture yet, but even glimpses of your calling carry enough power to dramatically shift how you view your day-to-day life. Work that once felt tedious may now appear as a stepping stone or a training ground for the bigger tasks ahead. This shift might also amplify your sense of compassion. Suddenly, you care more deeply about the welfare of others, even strangers. You're touched by global events in ways you never used to be, and you find yourself thinking, but what can I do? The answer is to trust your instincts, to use your newly awakened empathy as a guidepost. Maybe you'll take action, volunteer work, donating to causes, or simply being more present and kind to people you encounter. Or perhaps you'll be called to use your voice, your platform, or your creativity to inspire others to step into their own transformations. On the spiritual path, empathy isn't a weakness but a superpower, a channel through which divine love flows into our fractured world. Let your heart lead you, and don't shy away from being moved to tears or to courage. The universe is seeking vessels who are open enough to let love pour through in acts of everyday heroism. You'll likely encounter skeptics, or even your own inner cynic might protest. Is this real, or am I just imagining all this? That's normal. Your rational mind wants data, proof, a neat explanation for the swirling sensations and synchronicities that defy standard analysis. Understand that the biggest spiritual shift of your life doesn't come with a clear-cut manual or a set timeline. It emerges in waves, in revelations that cannot be measured by worldly metrics. You can choose to doubt indefinitely, but that only delays the blossoming your spirit yearns for. Accept that some things cannot be fully explained at first. Accept that part of this journey involves trusting an intelligence far greater than your personal intellect. As you let go of the need to rationalize every detail, you create space for magic to become your reality. To navigate these turbulent waters, you might consider establishing small, grounding practices. Whether it's daily meditation, journaling, spending time in nature, or simply breathing mindfully for 5 minutes, these rituals anchor you in the midst of upheaval. They don't stop the shift, but they help you maintain balance while everything around you, and within you, transforms. You might also benefit from consciously connecting with mentors or like-minded individuals who are experiencing similar awakenings. Conversations with people who get it can be a balm for your soul, reminding you that you're not alone or losing your mind. Indeed, entire communities are rising worldwide as more and more souls awaken and realize their interconnectedness. During this time, pay particular attention to your dreams. The subconscious mind often uses the dream state to communicate profound truths when the conscious mind is busy sleeping. You may find that your dreams become more symbolic, peppered with messages that feel as though they come from another dimension. They might feature repetitive themes, inviting you to address certain issues or to embrace certain paths. Keep a journal by your bedside and write down whatever you remember. Over time, patterns will emerge, guiding you toward deeper self-understanding and offering glimpses of your future trajectory. Dreams are a powerful language of the soul, often bypassing the ego's defenses to deliver wisdom straight to your heart. Another element of this shift is the release of old karma or generational baggage that you've carried, perhaps unknowingly. You might wake up one morning feeling inexplicably burdened, as if you're mourning losses you can't even name. Or you might suddenly recall memories from childhood or past relationships that you thought were resolved. This is a sign that your energy system is purging the remnants of old traumas, both personal and ancestral. As you clear these densities, you'll notice a newfound sense of freedom and lightness. You'll also realize that your healing isn't just for you. It radiates out to your lineage and even your environment, forging brighter possibilities for those who come after you. This might feel like a heavy responsibility, but it's also a sacred privilege, a chance to break cycles and infuse your bloodline and the collective consciousness with higher vibrations. Physically, you may experience periods of fatigue, headaches, or random aches that conventional medicine can't fully explain. Changes in appetite or sleep patterns might also appear. While it's always wise to address any serious health concerns with a professional, recognize that your body is undergoing an energetic recalibration. Emotions that have been stored for years might be surfacing, and the physical vessel reacts to that shift in myriad ways. Keeping hydrated, eating nourishing foods, and getting sufficient rest can help ease these ascension symptoms, as some call them. Again, approach these experiences with compassion for yourself rather than frustration. You're remodeling your entire interior landscape. As this shift accelerates, you might feel a growing impatience or a desire to speed up the process to get to the good part where you're fully integrated with your new sense of purpose. Yet, the universe works on a timeline that ensures each layer of growth is properly established. Think of it like building a house. You can't put on the roof before laying the foundation. Rushing leads to unstable structures that collapse under stress. That doesn't mean you should remain passive. Instead, align your actions with your intentions, but allow the natural flow of events to unfold without forcing. A potent combination of deliberate effort and surrendered flow often yields the best outcomes on a spiritual path. It's both an art and a discipline, and you'll get better at it as you go. You may also notice that your perception of time warps. Some days rush by as though hours were mere minutes, especially when you're engrossed in experiences that resonate with your newfound consciousness. Other days drag endlessly, especially those filled with tasks or interactions that no longer match your vibration. This elasticity of time is another clue that you're stepping outside the usual boundaries of ordinary existence. When you align with your spiritual core, time can stretch or contract based on how deeply you're living in the present. It can be disorienting, but also exhilarating. Embrace it. Recognize it as part of the expansion of your reality. On this journey, it's natural to seek confirmation or guidance. You might repeatedly look for signs. A certain animal crossing your path, feathers appearing in odd places, or a sequence of numbers like 777, showing up on receipts, license plates, or digital clocks. Each time you spot these, take a moment to feel gratitude. The universe is engaging with you, reminding you that you're not alone. You might also consider consulting an oracle deck or reading sacred texts that spark insights you never noticed before. Or you might simply tune inwards, trusting that your intuition knows the path better than any outside source. The key is to remain open and receptive, balancing external guidance with inner discernment. Relationships, too, can ascend to new levels of honesty and depth. If you have a partner, friend, or family member who resonates with your journey, you might find the bond deepening in unprecedented ways. Conversations that used to be superficial or purely practical now venture into realms of vulnerability and mutual exploration. On the flip side, you might also see certain connections reveal themselves as illusions, people who want the old you to remain unchanged because it's more comfortable for them. That's okay. Release them with love, if needed, trusting that life will bring them their own transformations in due time. Focus on cultivating relationships that reflect your evolving truth. Another aspect of this shift is a redefinition of success. Previously, you might have chased accolades, money, or social status, only to discover a hollowness upon receiving them. Now, success appears in new forms. Moments of profound inner peace, the joy of helping someone else awaken, the ecstasy of creative flow when you pour your soul into a project. You'll find yourself measuring your life less by external metrics and more by the state of your heart, the quality of your presence, and the depth of your authenticity. This reorientation may cause confusion at first, especially if you were raised to chase tangible results. But as the shift integrates, you'll see that intangible rewards often carry far more significance in the realm of the spirit. Don't be surprised if you develop a heightened sensitivity to the energy of places or objects. A room that once felt neutral might suddenly seem suffocating, or you might walk into a gathering and instantly sense whether the energy is harmonious or discordant. You're tapping into subtle frequencies. Some call it being an empath, others psychic sensitivity. This skill can serve as a valuable compass, guiding you to choose environments and experiences aligned with your soul's path. Yes, it might also mean you need to step away from certain events or individuals whose energies clash with yours. That's not selfishness. It's self-care. You can't fulfill your purpose if you're constantly drained by vibrations that conflict with your growth. At some point in your shift, you may have a watershed moment, an unmistakable epiphany where the puzzle pieces come together in a brief flash of clarity. Perhaps you'll witness a breathtaking sunset that seems to speak your name, or you'll hear a piece of music that unlocks a hidden chamber in your heart. You might find yourself weeping tears of awe, as if a veil was torn away and you finally see the cosmic love that has been orchestrating your journey all along. In that moment, you'll understand that you are more than just a random human living a series of disconnected events. You are an integral thread in a vast cosmic tapestry, designed to express the divine in a unique, irreplaceable way. This realization may only last a few seconds, but it can forever alter how you move through life. Once you've tasted that truth, you can never fully return to ignorance. As your belief in the shift solidifies, you'll notice that your manifestation abilities sharpen. You think of someone, and they text you within minutes. You visualize an outcome, and the universe arranges uncanny coincidences to bring it closer. This is no accident. With your energy centers more open and aligned, you become a co-creator, shaping reality with intentional thought and emotion. Use this power wisely. If you focus on fear, you'll attract experiences that mirror that fear. If you dwell on love and possibility, you'll draw in blessings and miracles. This doesn't mean you become immune to all challenges, but it does mean you wield influence over how swiftly you recover and how you transform adversity into growth. It's as though you shift from a passive observer of life to a conscious participant in the dance of existence. You might also observe that animals, children, and individuals with heightened intuition gravitate toward you. They sense the shift in your energy, the rising frequency that you now carry. This can feel like a beautiful affirmation, a subtle reminder that your aura has changed. In times past, you might have brushed off compliments or signs of affection due to low self-esteem. Now, Allow yourself to receive these gestures with gratitude, acknowledging that the universe is reflecting your inner radiance back to you. Likewise, if you find yourself spontaneously giving more, whether in knowledge, love, or acts of service, that too is a hallmark of a spiritual shift blossoming in your life. However, remain mindful of not trying to save everyone around you. Your transformation is an invitation, not a commandment. Each soul has its own pace of awakening. If you push too hard, you risk entangling yourself in drama that slows your own progress. Stand as a lighthouse, shining steadily. Those who are ready will see your light and respond. Those who are not will find their own path in their own time. Indeed, part of spiritual maturity is letting go of the need to control how others evolve. You can share your truth passionately, but you cannot force it upon anyone. As your shift deepens, your sense of wonder may expand. You'll see beauty in mundane details, like the sun glinting off a puddle or the gentle sway of leaves in a breeze. You'll notice patterns in nature, spirals, fractals, that mirror the geometry of your own inner processes. You might even discover that your capacity to feel joy grows more vibrant. Tasks you once considered chores now become opportunities for mindfulness and appreciation. Life starts to sparkle with a strange newness, as though you're experiencing it for the first time. This isn't naive escapism. It's tuning in to the miracle of existence that's always been there, overshadowed by daily concerns. You might question what's next, how to maintain momentum once the initial excitement wears off. Integrate what you learn. Don't just bounce from insight to insight. Each revelation calls for action, whether that's changing a habit, speaking a truth you once swallowed, or dedicating time to a spiritual practice. The universe rewards consistent effort with deeper layers of understanding. Also, remain open to the possibility that your shift doesn't end, it evolves. Today's transformation is the foundation for tomorrow's further expansion. Rather than seeking a final pinnacle, embrace the idea of endless unfolding. Each new plateau eventually gives way to another stage of growth. If feelings of isolation arise because not everyone in your immediate circle is going through this shift, remember that countless souls worldwide are experiencing similar awakenings. You may never meet them physically, but you share a spiritual kinship that transcends geography. The internet, for all its distractions, can be a gateway to find these kindred spirits. Virtual communities dedicated to spiritual growth can offer mutual encouragement when local spaces feel limiting. Use discernment, of course, but also be willing to extend your energy into these digital domains if it enriches your journey. To anchor yourself more firmly, you might experiment with different forms of meditation, guided, silent, mantra-based, and see which resonates with your shifting energy. Consider trying breathwork or yoga to align your physical body with the spiritual changes. Notice how your emotions fluctuate depending on what you eat or how you spend your time. The body is no longer a separate entity. It's a direct participant in your ascension. Each cell is responding to the frequencies that envelop you, so treat your body as a sacred vessel. This fosters a synergy between the spiritual and the mundane that can accelerate and stabilize your ongoing shift. Eventually, you'll look back on your former self and marvel at how much you've changed in a relatively short span. The spiritual shift you're undergoing will seem both epic and natural, as though a hidden script was always leading you to this moment. Old regrets may fade as you appreciate how each mistake and each sorrow paved the way for your current awakening. You'll realize that even the darkest episodes were not wasted. They cultivated your resilience, your empathy, and your hunger for truth. Without them, you wouldn't have been ripe to receive the epiphanies blooming in your mind and heart now. Curiosity might also lead you to question the grand picture. If so many individuals are experiencing a similar expansion, what does that mean for humanity at large? Could it be that we're on the cusp of a collective awakening? The prophecy of a new era, whether people call it the Age of Aquarius or the Great Shift, is no mere fantasy. It's a vibrational surge that calls each awakened soul to serve as a beacon. By aligning with this bigger wave, your personal shift ripples into the collective field, contributing to a transformation that surpasses individual achievements. You become part of a cosmic orchestration, a universal synergy that can restructure societies, heal old wounds, and spark unprecedented creativity. At some point, you'll find yourself in a situation that tests everything you've learned. Maybe it's a crisis that rattles you to your core, or a choice that demands moral courage you didn't know you possessed. Instead of bowing to fear or despair, you'll sense a calm reservoir within you, one that you've cultivated through your spiritual shift. From that reservoir, you'll act with clarity and compassion, amazed by how your old reflexes of panic or anger are subdued by an inner steadiness. That's when you'll know the shift isn't just an idea but a lived reality, integrated into your psyche and spirit. Remember to celebrate your milestones, no matter how minor they may appear to someone else. Each breakthrough, each release of an old pattern, each moment of clarity is worth acknowledging. These small victories accumulate, forging a luminous chain of transformation. Keep a journal of your successes, your lessons, and your challenges, so you can track your growth over time. When doubt resurfaces, this journal becomes a testament to the progress you've made, the mountains you've climbed. Revel in these transformations not out of ego, but out of gratitude for the grace that has guided you thus far. Now, if you haven't yet, drop that 777 in the comments. This is your symbolic yes to the biggest spiritual shift of your life, a vow you make not to me, but to yourself and to the universe. Notice the energy that stirs in you as you do so. It's the spark of commitment, setting into motion sequences you cannot fully predict. Expect supportive omens in the days or weeks ahead, quiet confirmations that whisper, "You made the right decision. Stay on this path." Open your eyes, your ears, your intuition. The universe is eager to communicate, now that you've signaled your willingness to listen. Chosen one, it's natural to wonder if you'll ever arrive, or if this shift is an eternal process. The truth is, both are correct in their own way. There will be milestones that feel like arrivals, new states of consciousness where you find a momentary sense of completion. Yet, each arrival is merely a gateway to a further horizon. The soul delights in expansion, so once you integrate one level, it will reveal the next. Embrace this cyclical nature. Life becomes a dance of expansions and rest, forward leaps and gentle pauses, all orchestrated by a cosmic intelligence that sees far beyond your current vantage point. One day, you'll look around and realize that what used to scare or bore you no longer holds any power. You'll have outgrown limiting beliefs you once clung to out of fear. You might find yourself spontaneously guiding others who are just beginning to feel the stirrings of their own shift. Without even trying, you'll become a teacher, a mentor, a comforting presence for souls in turmoil. That's the ultimate mark of your transformation, when it no longer revolves solely around your personal journey, but spills over into service. You'll sense a subtle joy in being part of something larger than your individual story, a living branch of the universe's unstoppable evolution. In this new phase, there's also a risk of spiritual ego, a subtle trap where you start feeling superior because you're more awakened than others. Watch out for that pitfall. True spiritual maturity brings humility, a humble acceptance that we're all travelers on an infinite path. You can share your light without diminishing anyone else. You can stand firm in your truth without invalidating the paths others choose. The universe celebrates diversity in all things, including spiritual expression. Let that understanding guide your interactions. Speak with conviction, but also with respect and openness, acknowledging that your truth may not be the final word for every soul. Finally, never forget that the biggest spiritual shift of your life, happening now, is an ongoing love letter between you and the cosmic tapestry of existence. Each insight, each tear shed, each moment of revelation is a line in that letter, weaving a story that spans lifetimes. Reading it, writing it, living it, these are not separate acts. They form one continuous flow of becoming. And the universe is right there with you, celebrating your courage to say yes to the unknown, to dive deep into the waters of transformation. Day by day, your shift continues, shaping you into a vessel fit to carry more light than you ever believed possible. Chosen one, you stand on sacred ground, teetering between the old world that once felt safe and the new realm calling you by name. Embrace this shift, claim it with every breath, and let gratitude flood your being. This is not the end, but a milestone that will forever redefine how you exist. Drop a final 777 in the comments if you feel that surge of agreement in your soul. Then lift your gaze, take a steady breath, and step forward into the magnificence the universe has prepared for you. All you need to do is continue saying yes, continue trusting the whispers of intuition, and continue opening your heart wider than you thought you could. Let this be your vow, your prayer, your everyday practice. In that simple commitment lies the power to align with the greatest spiritual shift of your life, happening right now, in this breath, in this heartbeat, in the radiant infinity of your own becoming.